Welcome to this episode of the $1 Million Mastermind. I'm Larry Weidel, and before we get started, if you want to know exactly how to win again and again, go to weidelonwinning.com/webinar now to watch something I've put together for you. Now let's get going into this episode of $1 Million Mastermind. Well, let me ask you a question about your book, The Heart of the Game. People, when you write a book, you can waste a whole lot of time coming up with the title of the book that says what you want to say that hasn't already been said before or doesn't have other titles out there with the same, titles already been used.
Well, the book is The Heart of the Game. The cover, it's H little e and then it's capital ART. And I think anything you do, if you do it well, becomes an art. And golf played at a high level is as much a performing art as ballet is. And that's part of the pursuit of excellence. And when you watch somebody who really knows how to play golf, I mean, it's you're seeing something. And I think that we had an African-American man that spent his whole life out here farming, and watching him do something he was really good at, he was an artist in his field. And so the heart of the game, I think several meanings. You got to love what you do. You need to love your players. But if you get good at it, I know you actually, are an artist, do paintings. And when you first started, you probably weren't that good, but you keep trying to get better. And I've seen some of your work, and it's outstanding.
Oh, thank you. Well, in my case, when I get a good one, even a good photograph, it's like, I don't know how that happened, but if I keep going, maybe it'll happen again, Yeah. You never have the point that, like, I've arrived. I can just go out there and do it anytime I want. You're always grateful that it actually worked.
Yep.
And a lot of times in coaching, people are looking to you for answers and everything, and you really don't know exactly what to tell them, but you got to tell them something. And I'm sure you've gone through that too.
Yeah, I've had not only have had a lot of really great players that they've taken some of these lessons. Well, now some of my former juniors have turned 60, and I'm teaching their children, but almost to the man. I had two players that I started with when they were 11, 12 years old that played the tour, Scott Verplank and Bob Walcott. But I had countless others that took the lessons that they learned through this game of golf, and a number of them have become millionaires in their work and various things, investment banking, the insurance business, any number of things. One of them owns a wine distribution business in Atlanta. He started from scratch. My editor interviewed all these players with the book and asked them what they learned the most, and not a one of them said anything about golf. They said about setting goals, and I used to insist that they dress nice and have their shoes shined and take care of all the non-game areas. They have to try to do everything well. I don't know, it's in the book. I've only read my own book once. I was flattered at what these young men had to say that are now, late 50s and 60s. And it's fun to watch them have success. And I think, I don't compare myself to John Wooden, certainly, but, his players, all these documentaries and films and books, and he touched these players' lives in ways that unimaginable, really.
Why did you find it important to make these or to teach these players to do well in the non-game areas? Why does that matter, and how did you?
I told them there's a lot of things you need to do well that don't have anything to do with athletic ability. Like you need to eat right. You don't need to be drinking Coca-Colas and eating Snickers bars while you're on the course. The sugar doesn't do you any good. I mean, you need to keep the dirt out of the grooves of your clubs. You need to. The process is more important than the outcome. You got to take care of the process and the way you act on the golf course. I tell them never let them see you sweat. I mean, you don't ever let them see you throw a club or get upset with yourself. And, that was a learning experience. A lot of them, they didn't get it. It took them a while, but I don't think in life you ever achieve much if you're angry, especially if you're discouraged with yourself.
Yeah. Fantastic insights. And they're all things that add up to being able to perform well at a consistent high level. Because really any of these kind of things can bring you down. A lot of times people don't realize I did a course on my book and had like a bonus thing at the end, like things winners wind up learning. And that is that they wish they knew along the way. If you ask winners, what are things they learned that they wish they knew along the way? And that is, keep your finances organized, live within your budget, because otherwise you got a big debt or here comes the IRS. Now, what are you going to do? All of a sudden you have to shut down what you're doing and deal with that, or be careful about who you let into your life. It's like, one poisonous person with a poisonous attitude can totally disrupt a happy, positive team, so you got to be careful about who you let into your life. You've got to be like who you spend your time with, and there's all kind of things have to do with even your spiritual side of life. If you think you're going to get through life and come out on top and be able to handle everything without developing a relationship with your creator, you have got some real tough times in front of you, because you're going to learn some tough lessons. And so you need to before you get some nightmare situations, you need to kind of tidy up that integrity, value, character side of your life, so that you're not creating future problems for yourself, And a lot of people get away with it themselves, but then they have kids and then they've they're reaping the whirlwind, some of this, you can't control how all that goes, but you can kind of set yourself up for success in a lot of areas that are not related to just swinging a golf club or playing a piano or whatever it is you do as your profession. Hey, listen, there's a lot of information online, but there aren't a lot of people who've actually done something. In my case, I've actually built a successful business that's accrued over $5 billion in assets under management and has done well even during trying times. Now, if you want to know exactly how I've done this, go to whiteelemwinning.com/webinar now. I've compressed a decade of learning into 5 short weeks just for those of you who want to give yourself an incredible advantage and are tired of waiting and watching others move up.
Well, everything you've just said there is, sounded like an echo, because I'd said the same thing. Some of these kids, when they were interviewed by the editor, they've said, we were talking about core values when we were 12, 13, 14 years old, about integrity and doing the right thing and calling penalties on yourself and being kind to the people you're playing with. And even one of them said, that I don't remember it. He said, I was talking to him about God and things there was a whole lot of things, a lot more important than what we were doing out here.
Yeah. And so, let me congratulate you on a life well lived and a career well lived in terms of your first career and calling there in golf. And congratulations on a great start, it sounds like, in your second career. And it sounds like you're having a lot of fun. I know you got your family intact. Your wife is right there helping you do the interview here, and you got your son Rob, and whatever you've got your family with you, that you got to be doing something right along the way. Proud of you.
About Rob, but I'd say that he's getting the same kind of training from and mentoring from Andy and you and all those guys that I got. Actually, the Earl Nightingale, Napoleon Hill stuff, he started talking about it, and I said, Rob, that's what I got when I was your age.
Yeah.
It's powerful. Those ideas are powerful. You need to be listening to these guys. And Andy Young done a wonderful job with Rob. And I love watching the YouTubes of Art Williams and all these guys, because y'all are singing my songs.
Right. Because the principles of winning don't go away. Like winning strategies in golf and chess, let's say, they're winning strategies in chess 100 years old that still will work today. There'll be variations and whatever, but, winning is winning. It follows a pattern, and there's a track you can run on, and it's not guaranteed. The future's never guaranteed for any of us, but you can do a whole lot of setting up your odds in favor of a better likelihood than just sitting around and going through the motions with your life, being purposeful, that thing about intentional, just have a plan, have a reason for what you're doing and work towards it. And you find out you start making, if you got the big goal in mind, it kind of helps you avoid a lot of the little mistakes along the way, because you got the big destination. You're going to stay more on track. So thanks so much. It's great to hear your insights, and good luck moving forward with your new projects. Thanks so much. Let's talk again down the road.
Well, it's been a pleasure, and I sure thank you. I enjoyed it very much.
I'm going to give you a chance to say, see if you have a final word you want to add before we wrap it up to the people coming up. You have a final word you want to say to them?
Dream big, because anything is possible.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Bobby, and look forward to talking to you soon.
All right. Thank you so much.
If you enjoyed what you've heard and are dead serious about finding out for yourself exactly how this works in the real world, I've taken the most valuable business lessons I've learned over 40 years and put them into something for you to watch. Go to whiteelmwinning.com/webinar now in order to move up as fast as possible. I'm Larry Weidel, and I run the $1 Million Mastermind. Go, go, go.